Здравствуйте, and welcome to the skating lesson. Я David Spletnikov. And if you are new here, please subscribe below. I must tell you, this situation with Alena Kostornaia returning to Eteri Tutberidze is nothing short of a Russian soap opera. Well, except for the president of the Russian Figure Skating Federation, Alexander Kokoshkov, who commented on the information about the return of Alena Kostornaia to coach Eteri Tutberidze. Since the summer of 2020, the European champion has been working with Olympic champion Evgeni Plushenko. Today, March 4th, Plushenko himself confirmed the transition of the skater. Will Kostornaia return to Tutberidze? So what? Is this a universal catastrophe, or what? I have nothing to say about Kostornaia's return to Eteri Georgievna's group. Gorshkov was quoted as saying, "It is interesting, as the president himself went to talk to Eteri Tutberidze about the situation, where Alena Kostornaia placed 6th at the Russian Cup Final." Well, while Gorshkov may not have anything to say about this situation, plenty of Russians certainly do. It is only appropriate that as we revisit the events of last summer, we give a brief history of why Alena Kostornaia left the group of Eteri Tutberidze in Sambo 70 to begin with. And for that, I visit the wonderful website, Sports Are You, who tried to cover this information like the New York Times of figure skating. And you see an article says, in July, Kostornaia admired the number from Tutberidze. Now Plushenko says that Alena doesn't like it, and in general, it's a horror. This is from August 2nd, 2020. The article reads, Alena Kostornaia joined the Angels of Plushenko with 2 fully assembled programs delivered by Eteri Tutberidze's team. If you missed anything this summer during quarantine, it was the biggest scandal that Alena Kostornaia would leave Eteri Tutberidze after the official transition period with 2 programs and time spent on her that could have been spent with the other girls who do exactly the same programs as one another. You see an excerpt of the free program to the song Lovely by Billie Eilish was shown by choreographer Daniil Gleikhengauz on July 10th. Together with Alena, he skated it in Novogorsk. A few days later, in an interview with the Olympic Channel, which is basically the People magazine for Olympic sports, where we spew bullshit and propaganda, Kostornaia was asked about this program, and the answer sounded unambiguous. "We chose unusual music. I and the coaches liked it. We immediately understood. This is what we need. We tried to convey the image of Billie Eilish, but not copy it. I think it suits me very well. The program is new, but I can confidently say that I like it. And perhaps our programs are becoming more interesting every year." Even before the end of the month, Alena left the Tutberidze group, having agreed with Plushenko. Seeing her off, the completely defeated Daniil lamented, including about the short program. "I was very pleased with the program we got. I liked everything very much. The strangest thing was that Alena herself liked it, and she asked the girls to film how she skated the program. It was clear from her that she was enjoying herself." Tutberidze was also confident in the quality. "We gave her 2 programs that would have made a huge impression on the judges and the spectators." In Plushenko's camp, of course, the question immediately arose: what to do with the programs? Leave, change, or demolish everything and build a new one before the test skates? The leader of the Angels did not want to enter the season with numbers from the rival coaches, apparently. For Plushenko, this is unacceptable, purely political. True, Evgeni did not say this, choosing a different argument and giving rise to a contradiction. 100% we will change the programs and make ours. What I saw on Instagram is simply awful. Alena doesn't like it. She said it herself. Maybe Gleikhengauz would like to see it, but the athlete herself says the opposite. And with that, they changed the short program from the song Lovely to Billie Eilish to something very radically different. to other songs by the singer and songwriter Billie Eilish. Well, between the end of the summer and the beginning of the fall, as we didn't know what would happen, would the girls grow during quarantine? How would they be in Novogorsk? Would they spend too much time with the rhythmic gymnasts? Well, we learned many more details as they leaked out from the coaches of Sambo 70 and Angels of Plushenko about what happened with Kostornaia. In an article on Sports RU from July 31st, 2020, the headline reads, "Since mid-July, Yana has been training poorly. She snapped back and showed that something was wrong." New details from Kostornaia's departure from Tutberidze. Alena Kostornaia sensationally left the group of Eteri Tutberidze, choosing to work with Evgeni Plushenko. Now the former coach assures Alena and Evgeni agreed back in May. It turns out that Kostornaia herself admitted this after one of the workouts. The key circumstances of the breakup were described by the choreographer of the Tutberidze group, Danny G. Now it's hard to believe it, but just 3 weeks ago he published a video together with Alena, and they skated an excerpt from a new free program, and then something broke in their relationship. Below is a complete transcript of the monologue of the upset Gleikhengauz. "Good evening, everyone." Danny G has long quarantine hair. It is a shocking sight to see him not looking so manicured like we see him in the Kiss and Cry. "I would like to comment on the latest news and the current situation. Because all the same it hurts. I want to shoot in one take. Sorry if it will be long and awkward somewhere. I will speak as it is and how I feel. You all learned that Alena Kostornaia no longer trains in our group. The backstory is short enough. Personally, I do not fully see the logic in this. I tell you how it was. Fees begin. Everyone came, and we have been in Novogorsk for 2 months already. You can see it in my hairdo. We trained, Eteri Georgievna and I, every day, apart from all of our trainings, go out on the night ice where we set programs. It turned out that it was Alena who was the first to stage both programs this year. And as you might guess, given that I posted the video, I myself was very pleased with how we did the program. I liked everything very much. The strangest thing about all this is that Alena herself liked it, and she asked the girls to film how she skated the program. It was clear from her that she was enjoying herself. And then just abruptly, somewhere in the middle of July, she begins to train badly, not to fulfill our assignments, to snap back and show with all kinds that something is wrong. This does not last so long, after which we left the training of the second group of our younger children. Alena was already waiting for us in the corridor, and she told us that she no longer wants to train, and that she agreed that she would train in Plushenko's group. Well, you yourself understand the reaction when you just leave the workout and hear it. And I remember very well how we asked her, Alena, you are probably now in some kind of anger. You are in a transitional age. Because of this you are offended or reacted to something. What happened? To which she answered me, 2 months ago, I made this decision. At that moment, I literally said that I could not believe it, because I don't think you could do that, and then go to the training camp with us, and train like it, and enjoy the program, and so on. But as her actions showed, it was true. Please do not feel sorry for us. This is just our job. We live by figure skating. We love our job. It brings us both happiness, joy, and pain. This is an integral part of our life. Honestly, it is difficult to remain open a little internally after that, and to love your children, our athletes, to worry, to believe, when then everything happens like this. But this happens. This is part of our job. I don't really know what else to add. Thank you all very much for your support. We will continue to work. Everything is still ahead of us. I hope we will please you with our performances, athletes, and results. Well, it continued. When Kostornaia was at the test skates, she was asked about the transfer and the programs. Russian figure skater Alena Kostornaia spoke about the programs that she was staged in the group of Eteri Tutberidze. At the end of July, it became known that Kostornaia left the Tutberidze group and moved to the academy of two-time Olympic champion Evgeni Plushenko. The short was staged in the winter, the free program a little later. I liked the free program, not all the places, but the music suited me. I didn't like the short one at all. I talked about it. I said it more than once. They answered me, "Go for a skate. We'll see after the test skates." But I really didn't like it. I didn't feel the music. I don't like to skate that. Well, my opinion was taken into account, but not always. If I expressed my opinion, I was told yes or no. And a lot was said no, said Kostornaia. Well, after the test skates, Kostornaia spoke about the training with Tutberidze. Sportswomen like me, Shcherbakova, and even Valyeva cannot skate with children born in 2010. European champion Alena Kostornaia said that if she asked the former coach, Eteri Tutberidze, not to let others skate in her training. The reporters asked her, were there any lists of non grata skaters that Eteri Georgievna wrote about? Note that I think that athletes like me, Anya, and even Kamila cannot skate with children born in 2010. Even if they can, they need to be explained. Girls are adults. They will not make indulgences. If you interfere with them, they will jump at you or yell at you. When I was little, I used to skate on the sides. They told me if you interfere with someone, you will quickly go straight away. There was such a moment that I told the coaches, there are already 8 of us. Восемь. A crazy pace of training, and it is wrong to take out more children. It so happened that we had 4 people coming out at the same time. They seemed to do everything as always, but they got in the way, and it annoyed me. On your part, there were only requests. There were no demands. Da. I said, let's do it differently. Пожалуйста. So inconvenient and impossible. But no reaction. They did not go to meet me, said Kostornaia. Another reporter had a different reaction after the test skates. The article from September 12th, 2020. Kostornaia about how Tutberidze announced their separation, posting on Instagram as a shame. If you want to say something, then express it in your eyes. Russian figure skater Alena Kostornaia spoke about the departure from the group Eteri Tutberidze to the Evgeni Plushenko Academy. The coach announced her breakup with the European champion by publishing a post on Instagram. Immediately after I called Eteri, and she posted the post, there were a lot of calls. I just said that I would not comment, and that was all. Obviously, no one forbade me from the social networks. I believe that if a person left, there were reasons for this. No one just leaves. They do not look for good from good. Posting on Instagram is a shame. If you want to say something, then express it in your eyes. It was then that European champion Alena Kostornaia made news on the first day of the test skates. After a short program, she first admitted to Channel 1 that she had grown by 3 centimeters, of which 1.5 centimeters took place in the last month, clearly slacking off with the Angels of Plushenko. And then Alena gave a powerful speech in the mix zone. The most important thing is the story of why she switched from Eteri Tutberidze to Evgeni Plushenko. It was Alena's brightest and last performance at the test skates, after a not very convincing short one, which is not yet ready. Kostornaia said, "Today was exciting. I replayed this moment in my head many times. I was already shaken, but then everything came to naught. I just went out and felt both the ice and the hall. Everything vanished. Were you afraid of your first skate after a long pause, the reaction of the public? Not that it was frightening. It was just that there was a lot that was uncomfortable. Everything was new. Everything was different. And we have never worked in a competition with Evgeni Viktorovich. It was unusual. I got used to tune in a little differently. But here they come up right away. Do this and that. Everything is calm. And I got used to myself more when no one touches. Each coach has his own approach. Eteri has her own. Evgeni Viktorovich is radically different. The new team is more relaxed. We trained for a month. We seem to be doing everything the same. The same skates, the same jumps, the same training, maybe somewhat even stronger. But even if something didn't work out on the ice, even after the general physical training, no one drove, they didn't shout, they didn't swear. They said, let's leave it. Next time we'll do it. And now we'll work on other things that are also important. For example, if in the morning workout I feel that if I cannot skate the program, we will go to make sections, something like that without jumps. It seems like some kind of a freebie, but in fact, it helps to develop a lot of endurance. Does it seriously interfere with being in the midst of uneasiness that befell figure skating this off-season? Well, immediately after I called Eteri Tutberidze, and she posted a post on Instagram, there were a lot of calls. I just said that I would not comment, and that was all. Obviously, no one forbade me from the social networks. I believe that if a person left, that there were reasons for this. No one just leaves. They do not look from good, but all these posts on Instagram are a shame, throwing replies to each other, responding on Instagram. If you want to sort things out, it's better to meet eye to eye and express everything. Then, they go into, when did you make your decision? July 17th, before going to the second training session. Relationships and connections have already been lost. I called Sergei Alexandrovich Razanov, also known as Hot Sergei. Is there a possibility? Could I come? He said, wait a few days. Let's think. This is your decision. It is unexpected. You have been working in Eteri Tutberidzi's group for so many years. You have achieved results. I am actually very grateful to the previous headquarters. A couple of days later, there was a second call. I said that I had thought and decided everything, and began to get organized on the sly from that moment. You already had delivered 2 programs by this time. Yes, both short and free. The short one was staged in the winter, the free one a little later. It seems that Kostornaia was ready to tell more, but the press approach curtailed. Liza Tuktamisheva and Sonia Samadurova were waiting for their turn. Alena was clearly sore. She was sincere and did not want to offend Tutberidze's team, but to be silent and to hold a grudge is wrong. Therefore Kostornaia spoke out, openly, honestly. Even 8 minutes was enough to understand Alena made an independent and probably right choice. At least in Plushenko's team, her opinion is taken into account. And this is very important at her age and with her ambitions. Well, as the season went and went on, there were injuries, there was coronavirus, there was the time that there was the nationals going on, and Alena was shopping with Hot Sergei at the mall, not once but twice, but wearing the same jacket. And you see, people wondered about the restoration of Alena Kostornaia's health. Would she get the triple axel? Would she compete at the World Championships? What was going on with Hot Sergei? The rumors flooded the internet. They flooded Instagram. The rivals, the fans of Eteri Tutberidze's school, they all wanted to know what happened to Alena Kostornaia, the darling of the Western skating world. What had happened to her, as the other countries have always enjoyed her more than the good Russian girls, like Anna Sherbakova, or the fighter Sasha Trusova. We have to remember that when Kostornaia entered the Angels of Plushenko, it was not a happy reunion with Sasha Trusova. You see, Sasha Trusova had left with the Zhilina sisters and Hot Sergei. And Hot Sergei, Sasha, and Zhenya, they had been jumping the double axels together, working on the triple. But you see, Trusova never wanted to skate with Kostornaia. It is not difficult to understand why. If you are a girl who wants to jump 5 quads in one free program, how does it feel to lose to a girl who jumps not even one? You see, yes, she has a beautiful glide, a face of an angel, but Sasha is a fighter, and she did not like this, and neither did her father. And you see, and because of this, Sasha Trusova immediately fired Sergei Razanov. She was working with the Black Swan from Sochi, Elena Ilenik, on how to ride over the ice, how to fly, how to bend the knee and express her face. And she was developing, and she was getting compliments even from those bitches on the skating lesson during the test skates and the early performances of the Russian Cup. But then Sasha saw that Alena was working with Alena, and this had to come to an end. You see, Sasha fired Alena Ilyinich. She would no longer work with her. Ilyinich, who had given her heart and her soul and pounded the boards at the Russian Cup, to give everything she had to Sasha, to make her Juliet on the ice. But it was not to last, because Sasha did not want to skate with Kostornaia. And even though Plushenko would post pictures of Kostornaia and videos of her in the practice, Sasha said, absolutely not, конечно нет. She would not allow herself to be used like this, and this became a sort of leverage between Plushenko and Trusova. And even 4 months ago, Trusova threatened to return to Team Tutberidze, but Eteri did not welcome her back with open arms immediately. You see, Sasha Trusova's father is also very difficult. Last year, during the Nationals, he tried to punch Eteri Tutberidze at the hotel, and there have been stories that he has tried to punch Plushenko as well. Now, Plushenko loves Sasha. He wants to give her everything. They share the same character. He got her a hotel room, and now she is the darling of the Angels of Plushenko. She is going to the ballet at the beautiful opera house, and we will see how she skates at the World Championships. Will she remain the fighter that we know she is? And you see, recently, Evgeni Plushenko spoke to the press. He spoke from his heart about the situation with 2 of Russia's most talented and popular skaters. In Russia, I am under pressure from the press, judges, federation, and fans. Everyone is waiting for a miracle, new programs, more quadruple jumps, new costumes, and I like it because I also love to do something unusual when I was an athlete. I have a very strong team, strong athletes. Of course they want to be on the podium. My goal is the Olympic Games for 2 gorgeous girls, Sasha Trusova and Alena Kostornaia. Of course I want to bring them to the medals. We are working on it. Sometimes I have to stop them because they would like to jump 200 times per workout. Sasha wants to jump 5 quads. Of course we will try to do this. This is her goal, her idea. She is a very strong athlete. I think the strongest in the world. Alena is strong in choreography. She has charisma, good spins, glide. If she adds a triple axel to the programs, of course she will be on the podium. Of course, without a triple axel, it will be hard for her to fight. It's possible to add one. If she is healthy, she'll be able to do the triple axel, no doubt. For the Olympic Games, she needs a quadruple jump. She can do one. When she joined my group in the summer, she was injured. We waited 2 weeks because of this injury. Then we started training with old injuries. In our sport, it is important to be healthy. But I know that Alena is ready to master a quadruple jump. But a little later, which quadruple jump? It will be a secret. And you see, it had seemed that Plushenko did like Kostornaia. But then in an interview on the Olympic Channel, Plushenko's son, his mini, spoke and was asked if he admired Kostornaia, and he said no, he admired Trusova. And a child of that age, as you know, gets their opinions from the parents. And there were thoughts. Is all right with the Angels of Plushenko? Is everyone happy? Is there harmony? Are the angels playing the harps as we imagine will happen at the pearly gates? It was not to be. It was not to be. But even after Kostornaia placed in 6th place at the Russian Cup Final, 2-time Olympic champion Evgeni Plushenko commented on her performance. Alena today is just a fighter who went out and skated, taking into account the health situation. She is a fine fellow. She fought to the end and showed that she is ready to move on, ready to fight and win. Now we have a difficult stage. But she is smart and continues to work. The main thing is that she has a desire. You see, since she said that she has a desire to continue performing, that's just fine. So we will plow ahead. Well, 3-time Olympic champion Irina Rodnina, with more gold medals than Plushenko, disagreed about the state of Alena's performances. Why does everyone think that the transition to Plushenko turned Kostornaia from number 1 on the Russian team to the 6th? It's just that Kostornaia is starting to age and have problems. She gained weight. There was a long break due to the pandemic. The fans apparently need to find the culprit. I just saw that it was hard for Kostornaia. The reason is that she's out of shape right now. Maybe Alena moved from Tutberidze to Plushenko so she could breathe more freely. We don't know all the subtleties. It's hard to say. Plus, let's take into account how old Kostornaia is. At the age of 17, Lipnitskaya disappeared from us. Sotnikova got off. Zagitova left. Around the same time, problems began for Medvedeva, who remained with Tutberidze. We all saw how Zhenya walked in a cast due to injuries. To say that a coach is doing something wrong is probably wrong, Rudnina was quoted as saying. Well, then, the other day, Alena, Sergei, and the president of the Russian Figure Skating Federation went to talk to Eteri Tutberidze. They were spotted. It was in public. Immediately, it leaked to the press. It leaked on Instagram. And you see, Eteri was into discussions with the Federation. What would the percentage be? What would the advantage be for her daughter, Diana Davis, who is maybe the most talented ice dancer, but with some political help and help from the great coach, Igor Spielband? Things are possible. You see, when she took Medvedeva back, she restored relations with Tarasova. You see, Tarasova used to be more on the Angels of Plushenko side, but they bonded over the fact that Tarasova also felt with Eteri that Medvedeva wasn't really talented. It was Tutberidze's gift all along, and since then Tarasova has been so loyal to Eteri. And she spoke with dismay about Kostornaia. Honored coach of the USSR in figure skating, Tatiana Tarasova commented on the information about the possible return of European champion to Alena Kostornaia to coach Eteri Tutberidze. In the summer of 2020, the skater left the Tutberidze group and moved to the team of Evgeni Plushenko. She was leaving loudly throughout the country. Now, she needs to apologize to the whole country, ask and wait for the master's decision, Tarasova was quoted as saying. And you see, this notion about the apology in front of the entire country, would it be on Channel 1? Would Ted Barton officiate? We did not know what would happen. But then the media called Trankov about Tarasova's call for Kostornaia to apologize to Tutberidze in front of the entire country. Two-time Olympic champion Maxim Trankov spoke about the words of the honored coach of the USSR, Tatiana Tarasova, who believes that Alena Kostornaia must apologize to coach Eteri Tutberidze for the whole country. Maxim was quoted as saying, "For example, I absolutely do not need Kostornaia's apologies. I think this is her personal business between Alena and the coaches. The situation she found herself in is her personal journey. This is a conversation between Eteri and Alena. Even if I was offered, I would not want to be present." I have to disagree. I have to say that if I was offered, I would absolutely want to see how Eteri would react. Would her face make any emotions? Would there be flowers? Which diva? The young, talented, difficult student who often quarreled with Tutberidze. You see, in the summer of 2019, Kostornaia had not yet restored the triple axel, and Eteri Georgievna banished her from the ice, from her top group, to skate with a small group until she could jump. It has been years of injuries, of tears, of not landing the triple axel in the warm-up and the practice, and then summoning herself to land it in the competition. Alena Kostornaia and Eteri Tutberidze, it is not the most easy relationship. I would want to watch. I would want to see the body language. Perhaps I would like to watch behind a screen, maybe a video. But I would like to see what did happen. Who were first? Were there tears? And how were the other girls in the practice? How come we never see Anya and Kamila together in happiness? It is always Daria Usushova going between Kamila and Anya. We see on the Instagram, it is always Daria next to Anya. How will Kostornaia fit back in the group? We do not know. Well, Trankov has also said that we shouldn't just think it will be easy. It is not a fact that Kostornaia will be accepted. Resentment is and will be. Why would Tutberidze return to Kostornaia? Perhaps to show that there is always a chance. Or she will not take, so that others will be discouraged. Kostornaia has many options, including ending her career, but the most expected one is a return to Tutberidze. Maybe there will be a trial period. It would be the best option for Alena's fans and for her herself. But the last word is for Eteri Yurgivna, Trenkov said in an interview with the correspondent, Igor Valin. And you see, Arina Rodnina was not even excited about Kostornaia returning. Pair girls are a hardened breed, and Arina is as cold as ice. Three-time Olympic figure skating champion Arina Rodnina commented on the information about the possible return. I have no right to evaluate anything. I don't know the situation. If the first step was taken lightly, where is the guarantee that the second will be deliberate? The question is not whether Kostornaia returned quickly. It's just that the situation itself shows that the athlete has problems, Rodnina said in an interview with Irina Lavrova. Well, this is a situation, and though, in great Russian fashion, we could not understand right away, we could not admit that Kostornaia was coming back. But you see, Sergei Dudakov and Danny G were messaging others about the situation, saying that they were not happy. They did not want them to come back. But then Danny G posted in terrible handwriting, right out of the kindergarten, that it was not decided yet, even though everyone in Russian figure skating and in the press had already decided it indeed was. Kostornaia would return, and the worst-kept secret in figure skating was soon confirmed by the media itself. And it once showed again that Danny G was wrong. And you see, we must react that Eteri, she can do it all. A year ago, Eteri was supposed to sweep the World Championships, and only a pandemic prevented this from happening. But yes, she has united with the other coach who swept the World Championships, Igor Spielband, and is bringing her daughter to rip off Moulin Rouge from Tessa and Scott and to compete in the ice dance. And as we raise together and rise, we know that Eteri can not only manage to sweep the Olympic Games, perhaps she will bullshit Diana Davis's way to the top of the field in ice dance, the most sacred of all disciplines. Well, it was soon that we knew that the Angels of Plushenko would have to react. They would have to let us know. What did we feel? How did they feel about the decision of Alena Kostornaia, the ingrate, to return to Sambo 70? Well, Evgeni Viktorovich Plushenko spoke to the press. Alena came to our academy to work with Sergei Ryazanov, and I consulted her as a second coach, since I work with Alexandra Trusova, who came to me from the very beginning. I spend 3 hours on the ice with one group, and 3 hours with athletes from the other group, and then general physical training and warm-ups. Therefore, Alena worked with Seryosa as planned. In addition, in the last 3 weeks, we have attracted Yelena Vyachelovna Zhugun, her first coach. She helped, for which many thanks to her, as well as many thanks to Yelena Anatolievna Tchaikovskaya, who, like all of us, worried about Alena Kostornaia. When I asked Alena whether she needed my help, she replied only when she would work on the triple axel. We just started to restore it, but then she fell ill with coronavirus, and then a complication happened. Alena came to us in a very difficult period for her. Pubertat. 2 months of illnesses, almost 2 months without training. It is very difficult. Well, and a tough puberty. She still has health problems, and she knows it. But it was very precisely these problems that prevented her from practicing and training at full strength. Alena needs to pay serious attention to her health. We helped her. Good doctors worked with her, but it still gave a temporary effect. I wish her only well. If she decided to return to the previous team, then I don't see anything wrong with that. We gave her all the conditions that she wanted, choreographed 4 programs, although I was against changing something 3 weeks before the competitions, and I was against her performance in a shape that she did not have time to gain. She lacked exactly these 2 months. We initially gave her a separate ice, a cottage, and all the conditions. Neither Sergei nor I could give her health, strength, and motivation. No one could. We have different training methods than Sambo 70, and they are suitable for Sasha Trusova. Alena was also happy with everything until she got sick. This started the problems. I have no doubts about her future if she will work and give all her best, not get sick, and she will recover completely, which I suggested her doing this season. My team and I did everything for her, so with a clear conscience, we are letting her go back to Krustelny. With a crystal conscience. Due to the fact that Alena and Sasha had the best time and only 7 to 8 people on the ice, I had to refuse many skaters. Now I have places. I can take good athletes in her place who have been asking us for a long time. I don't see any tragedy. We live and work on. My wife will probably be upset. She often talked to Alena and supported her in difficult times. Sergei Alexandrovich put a lot of his heart into it. I think it will be hard for him. But even this is temporary. It will be a great lesson for our academy for the future. Now I will be responsible only for those athletes whom I train personally, as well as sign documents according to which athletes have not only rights, but also responsibilities. Plushenko stressed that he had fulfilled all the promises he made to Kostornaia. And even more than that, she couldn't complain. I definitely don't need flowers. I treated her well, and I still do. My family and I have always supported her. We got her, probably in the most difficult period of her sports career. Everything would have worked out for her here. But there are many buts, about which she knows no worse than me. In principle, there is nothing more to add. We all wish her good luck, health, and victories. In fact, she is still listed in Krustelny, so there is no need to go anywhere. Time to say goodbye. Well, the fans then anticipated the words from Plushenko's wife, the street fighter herself, Yana Rudkovskaya. But Yana has had a softer touch lately. She has gone to the competitions with her son. She has supported these girls, supported Alena Kostornaia. And with the press, she spoke sweetly, nicer than perhaps we even anticipated, perhaps even kinder than Kostornaia deserved. Music producer Yana Rudkovskaya, who once beat the mafia and stole a child from the hospital, who is the wife of two-time Olympic figure skating champion Evgeni Viktorievich Plushenko, commented on the return of Alena Kostornaia to the Tutberidze group. Kostornaia has been working with Plushenko since the summer of 2020. Today, March 4th, Evgeni Viktorievich confirmed that Alena is returning to her former coach. The main thing now is to restore health. I do not see any problems in the transition to another team. Evgeni and I have some kind of relief, since worrying about her health is also not pleasant enough. I believe that everything fell into place, because it is impossible to retrain and recover at the same time. Perhaps the next time we recruit athletes, I will recommend Evgeni to take health certificates, as well as documents of not only the duties of not only the coach, but the athlete. We did a lot of good for Alena. I think she will never forget it, Rudkovskaya told Sport Express. She also spoke about the health problems of the skater. Alena came to us not in the best shape. She unfortunately has health problems, and it was impossible to solve them quickly, plus a coronavirus and a complication. My husband suggested that she skip this season, take care of her health, but Alena continued to rush into battle. Kostornaia is a cool girl, an excellent athlete, and a very strong skater, but for training she needs to have health, with which she has problems. In general, in 6 months of training, Alena worked only 4. 2 months took the disease, so it's too early to draw any conclusions. Evgeni Plushenko and Sergei could help her recover, get back in shape, but these 2 months were not enough. We wish Alena recovery, and speedy recovery. Well, kind words for Alena, from Yana. But then an article appeared. It was in the Telegram, and you see, they think that perhaps Yana leaked this and spoke off the record about what she really thought. the details of the star of the European champion Alena Kostornaia in the Academy of Angels of Plushenko have appeared. We remind that on the eve there was information about the possible departure of the skater from the group of Evgeni Plushenko and her return to coach Eteri Tutberidze. According to the Telesport, Kostornaia was experiencing back problems, which she had at the training camp with Eteri Tutberidze's group. In addition, the skater had problems with her leg, namely a stress fracture. She was given the opportunity to independently choose a convenient time for ice training. Only Alexandra Trusova has similar preferences, who has the unconditional status of the first star in the academy. Sasha takes full advantage of her position. She takes additional classes, comes to the rink in advance to practice gliding. Alena showed less enthusiasm in this regard. She did not always train at full strength, and not only for objective reasons. After the school moved to a new skating rink in Gorky 10, there were cases of direct disruption of the training process. Alena could book certain ice hours and then not come to class. At the same time, Plushenko continued to support the skater and even suggested that she completely skip the current season to fully restore her health, to which he was refused. It is noted that by the time of the Russian Cup final, against the background of everything that had happened, the skater began to lose her nerve. Kostornaia's preparation for the Cup final was difficult. In the last 2 weeks, her behavior has changed. She's become much more impulsive and harsh. At official trainings in Megasport, Alena practically did not restrain herself. She cried after failures, was annoyed that the coaches did not allow her to try the jumps, and was close to hysterics. 17-year-old Kostornaia moved from Tutberidze to Evgeni Plushenko's group in the summer of 2020. With a new coach, the athlete won the silver at the Grand Prix stage in Moscow and one of the stages of the Russian Cup. In the final of the Russian Cup, she showed a 6th result and could not qualify for the March World Championships in Sweden, remaining the alternate for the Russian team. Well, even though Danny G and Sergei Dudakov were against, Alexei Zheleznyakov, always in step with Tutberidze, a happy man, master of the boogie-woogie, a man who almost came to blows with Evgeni Viktorievich Plushenko,